The Tshwane Municipality has written off 32 million rand in debt owed by 250 households. That comes after the households were deemed unable to pay the city's Affordability Assessment Committee. A report tabled at the council was unanimously passed. Although supportive of the write-off, the Democratic Alliance says the administration must not undertake blanket write-offs of debt for specific areas due to pressure from interest groups to curry favour or even win votes. DA Tshwane Caucus Chairperson Jackie Ace joins us for more. Jackie, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. You've supported the debt write-off as the DA. Perhaps talk to us a bit about the basis of the support.
This report was the last report that was brought by myself as MMC of Finance. It is a report that was in a continuation meeting from September. And Tshwane, which was started and revived earlier in the year, is a very important tool to ensure that the city collects the money that is owed to us. But a second leg of Tshwane that was always there was to ensure that those who cannot pay is assisted in applying for the indigent free basket of services, and those who can pay but have struggles with the affordability of the entire amount in arrears are helped in a way that they can be brought back into the payment net. And this is the reason why this report was brought to council today as a first attempt to stabilise the debtors book of the city, to have a reliable debtors book that can be collected on, but also to make debt affordable to those who owe the city money. There is also other reports that is currently in the system. And today, when this report was passed, I also urged the new government of the day to ensure that those reports that should come is not stopped. These includes a report that will apply the common law in duplum, which indicates that interest and fees on debt cannot be higher than the capital amount. This will make debt much more affordable for those who owe the city and will make it much easier for them to pay and for the city to collect. There's a second report that is that the debt on deceased estates need to be written off to allow those who have inherited properties to open up accounts and start paying for their debt. Also, that debt by child-headed households should be written off, and they should be then registered on the indigent services. But then lastly, also that residents who cannot pay and need to apply for indigent services have an easier and a quicker way to apply by usage of their SASSA proofs, their bank statements, as well as their national credit, credit rates, so that it is easier and quicker for them to apply. It is important that debt should be affordable for residents to pay, and that will also assist the city in collections.
Jackie, let's talk about the initial debt of the write-off this evening. It's interesting that as you talk about the other write-offs, that on the same day that former Mayor Celia Brink was to face a motion of no confidence in the council sitting in August, hundreds of residents from townships and informal settlements had marched to his office demanding this debt write-off and accusing Brink of prioritising only white-populated areas while neglecting black-populated areas. What took so long? He was accused of holding back this report on the debt write-offs.
The report was not held back at all. It was actually held back by the Speaker and the current government, and that's why it didn't serve at the time. What is very important to note is that those who marched on Brink and on his government is interest groups who are demanding that certain areas' debt are written off completely and that it is based on geographical areas. The write-off of debt should never be a way that is applied based on where you live. It should be based on what your means are, and it should have at its core the purpose to bring somebody back into the payment net to start paying, and not have it that debt is written off just based on where you live and that it will then be in a perpetuity that if I don't pay, it's fine, my debt will just be written off. That's also why the report that is passed today made the suggestion that prepaid meters need to be installed into the households that have had these arrears amounts and these debt written off, so that they do not fall into the cycle of debt in the future again. It should always be a purpose to bring somebody back into the payment net and not be an excuse to never pay your municipal accounts ever again.
Yeah, as you say that, you've also warned the administration against undertaking a blanket write-off to debt for specific areas because of the pressure from these interest groups to carry favor or win votes. Which interest groups are you referring to here? When you talk now, you're talking votes, you're talking politics now. We're moving away from the matter of debt.
We should never take decisions in government based purely on what will gain us votes. Your first responsibility as a responsible government is to ensure to do what is correct for the residents of the city, and also to ensure that what you do is based in principles and based in ensuring a future that is best for all residents of Tshwane. It is an unfair approach to ask that certain areas get written off completely, because in all areas of the city there is people that can pay their accounts and there is people that cannot pay their accounts. And if those who cannot or those who can pay do not pay, it disallows us to deliver services to the entirety of the city. Everybody who can pay must pay. Those who cannot pay must be assisted in a way that can bring them back into the payment net.
So the interest groups, who were you talking to? Who were you referring to?
There is various interest groups across the city, and majority of them are fueled by the ANC. We've also recently seen that specifically one of these interest groups, Alaska, which is an interest group starting in Atteridgeville, that they are have been having meetings with the ANC. There's an interest group in Eersterus as well as in Mamelodi, and all of them have been seen having meetings with the ANC. And that is why our concern is that the ANC will bow to their pressures and will write off blanket interest to those who in actual fact can afford to pay.
What would the alternative approach be for the city's financial recovery?
The only answer is to get a reliable debtors book. And the only way that you can get a reliable debtors book is to ensure that you have responsible debt by applying the common law in duplicate, and to look at those who really cannot pay and write off debt to a place where it becomes affordable to them. That is the only alternative that is on the table for the government of today.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. DA Tshwane Caucus Chairperson Jackie Ace speaking to us there about the Tshwane Municipality having written off 32 million rand in debt to 250 households.